Hey, what's up guys, it's Liam or Weagle back with a new video on your Overwatch. Today I want to go through the maining a hero problem. It is an issue that has swept the community since release. Some people strongly agree that you should main only one or two heroes, and a lot of the community very much disagree with that. So I want to go through it and discuss it, and with you guys in the comment section down below, let me know what you think. There is definitely an issue with only maining one or two people, and I want to get into them right now. The first thing I will mention though is that I'm going to be specifically talking about competitive, because in quick play the community just doesn't care that much. There's a ridiculous amount of comps that can be made in quick play, so this discussion would just go on forever if I talked about that, and as I say, not that many people are that bothered. So the first thing I want to mention, and this is a big one actually, is when you main a hero, what happens if the meta changes? They bring an update out and it nerfs your favorite character that you do use all the time. Now, Widowmaker could be a very good example of this, because at the start of the game, she was very, very good. But I'm sure if you were a Widow main at the time, you would have realized very, very quickly when she got nerfed, it became very difficult to use her and utilize her at all in game really. Sometimes on defense, I know people hit some great shots, but generally she became out of the game, wasn't helpful, wasn't useful, and all of a sudden you're in this situation where you have to learn new heroes. So that's the number one reason for knowing multiple heroes, is in case they get pulled out of the meta. Now there's only two heroes since release that have always been in the meta. The first one is Lucio. All the way through all the patches, all the PTR patches, Lucio's always been very, very good. The second is Reinhardt. Reinhardt is good all the way through the ranks if you can set up a team comp around it. Especially at the higher ranks and the pro scene, Reinhardt is picked very, very often because it's good to utilize in a team environment. I understand that if you're in solo queue though, Reinhardt can be harder to use. Now, one thing that is okay to do is to main heroes that actually are within the current meta, but you do need to be careful, and not only just one, because of the Widowmaker example that I just used. At the minute, if you was to main Lucio, Zenyatta, Reinhardt and Zarya for example, there's no way that all four of these are going to get nerfed at the same time, so you'll always have a fallback. Now, there isn't actually a specific number of heroes you should learn. Some people say that you should learn one hero in each category or two heroes in each category. Now, the problem with this is that the categories don't actually define what the hero does. I mean, Roadhog is in the tank category, but really he's more of a DPS. In fact, Mei is probably nearer to being a tank than Roadhog is, yet she's in defense. Also, some of the offensive heroes are very different from each other, and should Symmetra be in support? Probably not. She should probably be in defense. So there's a lot of these issues throughout the current system and of how they're split up, and I'd like them to change it at some point so it makes a little bit more sense. So actually going by this theory will not work. You need to try and get the most varied play style actually amongst the characters you can in your pool, so that you'll always know who to pick. Now, one thing about only maining one or two heroes is also the solo queue problem. A lot of people like to play Hanzo, and so many of them only play Hanzo. The issue with this is if you get into a game and you've got two or three people that want to play him, people get very, very mad. I'm better with Hanzo, I should choose him, and then usually a troll pick will come out like a Symmetra or a Torb on attack, which I'm sure can be viable sometimes, but 99 times out of 100 it's a very bad idea, and the game is very toxic from the beginning. And that's what brings up my next point, which is, if you think someone could be better with you, and I've seen this happen, not very often, but it does. If you think someone could be better than you, letting them have it. Or if you think someone's even as good as you are, let them have it if they don't want to be that versatile. And also, you'll have a character to fall back on if you've learnt someone else. So if you're a Genji player, you know that Zarya is fantastic for Genji. If someone insta-locks it before you, you've got Zarya to fall back on to support that Genji. Now, that for a lot of people goes against their morals and their self-esteem, but honestly, it's a very good thing to have a fall back on, and that's another thing I would recommend. If you know who your hero's best synergies are with, learn them as well, so if your pick is taken, you can at least help out that person in a way that will benefit your team. Now, the last thing I mentioned, which is an issue about maining only one hero, and it is probably the biggest one really, is that you'll have a very narrow focus of the game, and this does go hand in hand with what I just said about knowing synergies. If you only have one hero in your pool, you'll only know how to play that one hero and what to do with it. if you've got all of these other heroes in your pool, it's easier to understand in the current game that you're in what your teammates are doing or what they should be doing to assist you. If you then also need to swap off, as I say, your main character and you're someone else, you're playing a tank now, you're not a DPS, you can see the things going on in the game and understand them. The only way to really know Overwatch is to play all of the different categories. Now, I myself don't actually play much healing. My friends do, but I'm generally the DPS or defense or some version of a tank hero, whether it be an off tank as Mei or playing some Reinhardt. The weakness in my game is healing. Because I have such a focused understanding of the game, because I've played so many of the different roles, I do know how a healer should play and where he should be within the team. And I feel like if you're just playing one hero only, it's going to be very difficult to actually understand team synergy on what people should be doing at a certain time. The biggest culprits of this that really get people into the wrong feel of Overwatch is Hanzo and Reaper and Tracer probably as well. These heroes are very easy to bait your teammate with, and a lot of people don't realise that they're even doing it. I had a Tracer say to us the other day, "I'm Tracer, I'm in there killing them." Meanwhile, our backline was really being focused, no one would come back and help us, and the Tracer said, "That's our problem." That's not how the game works, buddy. Your kills aren't relevant if all of our healers are dying. So it's all about understanding the game as a whole, and learning more and more heroes will teach you exactly where you should be or where your team should be at any time. It makes it easier to help your team pick the comp, and just it's all around better for the game. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. A bigger hero pool is always going to be a better hero pool. Now, one question I've seen asked is if you main too many heroes, maybe you won't be able to be really good at any hero. And I don't think that that actually is a thing. Sometimes if you play a lot of Pharah, it may be hard to go back to McCree because you're going between projectile and hit scan. So maybe yes, you want to have more of a focus in projectiles or hit scan, but then there's still a huge pool within both of them two categories. So learn as much as you can, guys, and it will definitely go better for you and the people that you run into, and hopefully eventually a community in general will actually improve with the picks they make within their competitive games. Hope you guys enjoyed and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.